Okay, we've got the twin IPS 950s on this, guys. That is equivalent to 950 horsepower aside, but is less in actual horsepower. And we're running at full speed because we can. Hello, girls. Oh, look at that. Got away from both of them. Fantastic. That's what a 55 Superhawk will do. So we are running at a total fuel consumption of 300 litres an hour. That's 0.2 litres per nautical mile and a speed return of 35.6 knots SOG. I'm just watching for traffic and I'm going to do a bit of a fast turn before we head out. I don't think we can actually go offshore today because in some of our filming prior to this, it's actually closed out. There's waves. There's actually waves right across the bar, so I don't think that's safe or sensible. Just coming around to the right, a little bit of traffic today. Coming through some waves in a second. 3, 2, 1, and on the boat wash. Yeah, we've actually closed out today. Full waves across the bar. That is not possible to exit because we're not idiots. And I would hope that you aren't either. So we'll behave sensibly today. Checking for surfers, checking for people, coming around as hard as I can safely do it. In swells and hardening up. A little bit more power. Coming around at 26 knots. We'll focus more on the fuel consumption once we've gotten out of here. Just easing off on the inside motor. More power on the outside. And then straightening up on my turn and actually coming off on the power because it's way too rough out there today to consider a safe exit. So I'm actually just going to go through some of these waves just to feel the boat out. I'm watching up ahead. This is a very dangerous day for surfers because I can't necessarily see them all because of the waves. So I'm actually going to call it there and then we will rip it around the corner. We'll wait for this jet ski to come in. That's definitely a no-go today for exiting. We'll let this jet ski proceed ahead of us and then we will rip it back down into the wind and feel the speed in that part of the channel. Okay, increasing speed. Clear on surface, clear on traffic, waves behind us. Got one yacht coming through. I should be able to beat him. And increasing power. Okay, he's coming through at 8 knots. I'll increase to 25. Going through my own waves now. I note that it's been dry. Okay, a couple of bumps there with the doors going through those waves. And clear of the traffic. Okay, fantastic. I've got the gyro off at the moment, so we are getting a nice amount of heel in the turns. It's fun. Engine noises are not overpowering. They're just kind of fun. You do notice them. It still feels a little bit throaty with these Volvos behind us. I enjoy that. I want an experience on a boat like this, so I think that's what we are achieving. And I'm going to line it up the channel. Got a yacht on starboard. Full power. I'm going to leave a little bit of distance between me and the yacht and I'll come ripping up the middle. And actually we've got some traffic here, so we'll lose the speed there. We'll do a little bit more of this down on another part of the channel where we don't have so much traffic. Okay guys, we've reset for the second part of the sea trial. I was reaching task saturation before because when you got big crazy waves, jet skis, surfers and other dangers, it's not possible for me to look down at the controls and give you an accurate depiction of what's going on. And as you may or may not be able to see through camera 3, we've got full-on breaking waves across the bar today. So it's totally closed out, not possible to do an ocean run. And you shouldn't either on days like that. And this is also a part of the world where many surfers, to catch those waves, will paddle across the channel. So with these little waves inside this inshore part here, I actually couldn't see them all or have a good safe lookout. So I had to come off the pace for safety reasons. So what we're going to do is use this northern part of the channel for our speed, revs and fuel burn tests. Just coming through some of the waves there now. We'll flatten out in a second. And we do have tidal flow, so we're going to do it both up and down until we get an indication of both directions. I got my RPMs just here. I got my fuel flow in litres per nautical mile and total consumption just here, my GPS speed, and I will be navigating because outside of the channels, we will hit sand. So green on the right, red on the left, cruising through at 26 knots, 2,150 RPM and comfortable. I've got Volvo Interceptors, IPS drives, as I mentioned before. So the Interceptors, they deflect wash at the back of the boat. You control them with this button on your throttle hand on the starboard side of the helm. Okay, so just cruising through, consuming 209 litres total at 26 knots. Really comfortable. You do get on acceleration, you lose visibility for a little bit, as I would expect on a style of boat like this. So you just want to give it some, and then the bow will flatten out, increasing my speed to 28 knots. A little bit of trim on the Interceptors, that's 2,300 RPM. I'm seeing 234 litres total consumption, 8.3 litres per nautical mile. Feeling good, feeling good. Okay, let's get that up to 30. 29 and a half, 30 knots, 2,400 RPM on both motors, 267 litres total consumption. We can assume that is per motor. And then I've got 8.6 litres per nautical mile. Lovely, feels well trimmed at that speed. I'm going to say that's most likely your fast and comfortable cruise. And then let's give it wide open, just there. And I'm just nudging up on the revs in the flat water, so it's more of an accurate depiction right now. I'm seeing 2,500 RPM, did a little bit of a trim up just there on the gauge, coming through, and I'm going to be doing a right-hand turn to avoid the shallow water in a second. Coming around now. And I've got a speed return of 33.6, consumption of 300 and 8.8. Very good. Been coming off the pace now, and I'm going to see if I can actually just do a semi-fast turn. Really, really good viz all around on this boat. Might try and get in before that boat. Just there. I'll do outside engine, trim down. I'm just doing my outside engine powered because I am in a channel here. And now I'm going to increase. Now we'll get back on the pace. A little bit tighter than I need it to be, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Just going to go through my own waves now. 3, 2, 1. Parting the waves nicely. Relatively dry, but you would get wet if you were in big ocean conditions. Let's give it that speed again. Other direction down the tide. Got a big boat coming in the other direction this time. Green on the left, red on the right, clear all around. Fantastic visibility. So if you're in busy waterways, this is really great. Fun, good communication. I like how I can have a girlfriend or friend on either side. 31 knots, straight up to speed, 2,250 RPM, 240 litres consumption, 7.7 litres per nautical mile. Let's quickly get a little bit more speed before this next boat comes. 2,300, 2,400, 32 and a half, increasing. Big riv. We're going to have to come off the pace now. We're losing our opportunity. I'm seeing 287 consumption, 34, and increasing. Yacht going across my bow, Riviera 64 coming across on my port side. Big waves in a second. We're going to slow right down for these and go into the waves, try and keep these decks dry. Boom, boom. Okay, success. And we'll just overtake this little sailing yacht on our bow, and we'll do our best. Actually, no, that's irresponsible. We don't have the room for that. So that's what we're going to get on this part of the test. So from here, what we are going to do is find some shallow water. We will operate the anchor, and then we're also going to change locations after that and do some demonstrations on pick up and drop off. You've got really good access either side. You do have some planning and preparation before you do that, because you're going to need to open the doors. We've got joystick, and we have the option of DPS, which I think some of you might be interested in if you're buying a boat like this and you're going to shorthand the boat. So we're going to talk about all of that and more in the next part of this video. All right, so we are going to stick the boat in the Marina berth. We're back at Sanctuary Cove. This is the DCH Marine office. You're going to see quite a few Sax doors and also another Sunseeker in the pen there, because these guys represent both Sunseeker and Sax door for pretty much the whole of Southeast Asia, Australia and New Zealand, for the Sunseeker brand, that is. But focusing on the task at hand, we took the fenders out of the fender locker down aft, remembering we've also got some fenders forward. We opened both doors in case we need access, and we deployed fenders on the port side. Just pay attention to the design of the boat along the waterline. It does bulge out at the back of the boat, so make sure you protect that with fenders. We also have fenders on the dock, and we've also got rope on the dock. So I'm just going to take the boat in, spin it around, might use a combination of throttles and thruster and or joystick. I'll just see how I feel. And I'm just walking it in 1 engine at a time and keep the momentum down to a minimum. Once I've lined up with the berth, we're going to be pulling up port side 2. I'm going to swivel the boat and then reverse it in. You'll notice when I get on final approach, my head or my focus will be solely on the Marina berth. Once I know I'm clear of the Sax doors on starboard, I'm not actually going to worry about them because they won't matter. Let's just stop the boat now. And now we'll spin it. No rush. So I know I'm clear at the bow, so I'm going to start refocusing my attention out the back here. I'll change my body stance. I'm not worried about what's out front anymore. And here I need to decide what hand I use for the bow thruster. So I may actually swap throttle hands, and it's a variable speed bow thruster. There we go. So I've just swapped throttle hands to the left hand, and I'm walking it in, and I've got good control with the bow thruster there. I'm clear on the Sax doors. A little bit of thrust there. And what I can actually do is, I'm probably going to do a little click in forward. There we go. Just to bring myself alongside. Nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race here. Okay. And I'm just watching that last fender up there. And I can obviously transition to joystick. I'm actually just going to do wheel. And that's going to click me in. A little bit of bow thrust. And I can touch the fender about there. Okay. Okay, so anchoring the boat is relatively straightforward because of the design of the bow roller has a good amount of overhang, so she's nice and clear and free when she drops and raises. I also note that the anchors tends to want to come up in the right direction. I don't know whether that's design or luck today, but as you can see, the hatches, when they are open, give you perfectly good access into the anchor locker. The windlass is completely protected from anyone walking over it. That's the location of the bow and anchor operation. We can fit these 2 fenders in this space. That is the anchor washdown operation, and that's where you would plug in your anchor wash down. And then if you want to get into the chain locker itself, these just lift up, and hopefully you can see in there all of your chain is stowed. But this is clever because this just means if you are storing a couple of fenders or lines in this location, you will be able to reach them. They're not going to be down the bottom of the deep anchor locker. And then I really think this is quite neat. Not only is it stylish, it's just functional, because I do believe you're going to be sending non-boaties forward, and if they don't know what's going on and their foot gets caught up in some moving chain, that's a bad thing. Whereas this avoids that whole scenario from ever occurring. All right, that's the sea trial. I hope that was useful. Please remember, use these videos as a tool. If you're going to the boat show, if you're going to meet the dealer and you want to get some insights, that's why I make these videos. So I hope that helped, and jump in the comments and communicate, because I read everything. I'm not always able to respond anymore. There's just too many. And those of you trying to talk to me directly, please do it on Connect. Otherwise, I might miss your messages. There's literally hundreds coming through these days. In terms of some performance feedback and what your experience is like on this boat. She's a very, very happy boat cruising around in those high 20s, low 30s. She's absolutely possible the mid 30s to higher 30s, depending on the weight and trim and conditions. We had some windy conditions today, so we probably didn't achieve the overall max capacity or max speed that would be achievable on a calm morning. If you're coming from an outboard powered boat, if you are coming from a stern drive boat, just be aware that the turning circles are going to be wider on this. So you need to open up your situational awareness out to further afield before you start your turn, or practice those turns before you do it in a busy waterway or a restricted waterway, because it's got much more of a yacht feel. Even though she's a sporty boat and gives you a lot of feedback at the helm, she's a big boat. There's a lot of boat here. So if you are coming from that 40-foot rib and you're expecting to be able to hook it into a super hard turn and turn in a certain amount of distance, well, you won't on this one. It's going to be much more yacht and graceful like, and you'll need more space, basically, is what I'm trying to explain. But it's fun. It gives the feedback. It doesn't kick up the rooster tails like the old Superhawks, but I don't know whether that's essentially what the market is looking for these days. I love rooster tails, but I don't think that's what the general mass market actually wants. So that's understandable, and surface drives are a whole nother complex piece of kit to park, whereas DPS, positioning system, IPS joystick, the option for remote controls, it's wonderful for solo operation of a big boat, and you just couldn't achieve that on the older technology. You'd much more going on. So I can understand why we've headed in this direction. So do you need crew to run a boat like this? No, not necessarily. You can, with enough experience and training, you can run this thing by yourself, no problems at all. In terms of competition, there's quite a few boats you could consider, and I'll touch on a bunch. You could look at the Pershing 5X.
that is with surface drives, that will do the rooster tail, it's going to be a harder boat to park. You could look at the Princess V55. That's like the conservative version. This is the real sexy sports car. The Princess is maybe going a little bit more in that conservative direction, which might be fine as well. The Itama 54, that's a project. I don't think that's actually built yet. And the Riva 56 Rivale, both of those are open. I think you probably need to own a pair of red Speedos, have a really good tan and long hair, and a gold watch, which is fine. And if that's you, go for those boats. And possibly also the Vanquish VQ55 or the Wally Power 58. Both of those are serious contenders for competition and are worthy of a look. And I can understand if you're in this mindset, they may be boats for you to consider. The only thing is, Sunseeker, you do have a whole range to continue your boat life with. So if you were looking at moving into a yacht later on or as the next step, it's probably going to be a lot easier to step from this into a bigger Sunseeker, because essentially that is their core business. And there's a lot of history of Sunseekers, both in this country and essentially every country I go to. So consider that. At the end of the day, you got to do you. It's your boat life, not mine. I'm just making these videos for you to educate yourself. So I hope that was genuinely useful. Jump in the comments. And also, if you're asking questions and I don't have the answer, but you know, or I haven't got around to answering, jump in and answer it for someone else. I see plenty of you doing that in the comments, and that's what this community is all about. I really love seeing when another owner of one of these boats that I have filmed jumps in with some useful information. It's great. Thank you for doing it. If that's you, keep doing it. It's what I want to see. Next video coming up is something that you could compete with or consider to this. Click on the link if you wish. Love you lots. See you next time. See you guys.